Hi, welcome to the video. My name's Dychronic, and today I'm taking a look at the Destiny 2 Weekly Reset for December 27, 2022. First up, and obviously most importantly, is that this is going to be the last week of the Dawning. So if you wanted to complete any of the Dawning stuff, including the triumphs, the seals, everything, you have to do it before the end of this week. Alas, jumping in the little fireplace flower things is going to be just one more week. First up for the Nightfall this week, it's going to be the Corrupted. It's going to be the one with the Taken on the Dreaming City. And 100k, probably going to be Legend. Although this is one of those longer ones, you may end up losing a lot of points, so you got to go fast. For the Vanguard burn this week, we have Void Singe. For the Rotating Crucible, we have Momentum Control. For the King's Fall Raid Challenge this week, we have Hands Off, taking place in the final encounter on the boss encounter. And in this encounter, you're not allowed to kill the same Ogre and Lighter Knight more than once per the encounter. So essentially, there's just going to be a lot of switching around and keeping in track which ones you have and haven't killed. The Rotating Raid and Dungeon are going to be the Vault of Glass and the Grasp of Avarice. Up next, let's take a look at the Week 4 challenges. First one's going to be obviously completing Week 4 of the current missions and defeating Hive and Scorn in the system, Heist Battlegrounds and Vault's Breach, defeat combatants with Arc or Void damage and Heist, unlock patterns for seasonal weapons or the Achilles weapons, get kills with long-range weapons like Scouts, Snipers, Linears by getting precision final blows, defeat powerful combatants in Gambit, defeat Guardians in Momentum Control, and complete any Nightfall strike on hero or higher. Up next, let's take a look at the Eververse's inventory. Again, this is going to be the end of the Dawning, so if you don't see options for Bright Dust, you have to get them for silver, because this is the end of the event. First up, we have the ice carving, which I believe is like a chainsaw and a big old thing of ice, and you carve something out of it. Pretty straightforward. We have the Glee Barrage, an ornament for the Xenophage, very festive. We have a Ghost Rejection of Baking, and of course the Dawning Tranquility, which a lot of these look alright, especially on the weapon. That looks nice. As for the other Bright Dust section, first up we have the Shaky Skating, which I assume it's multiplayer emo, where you're just kind of learning how to skate. I don't know when I want to use this. We have the emote for the Snow Bunny, which you put one of those special bunnies in your hand, which is kind of cool. We have an ornament for the Nutcracker Shell, which is somewhat creepy, I have to admit. We have the Polar Vortex, which is a sparrow as a polar bear. We have the Frictional Cooler. What the heck? I mean, I guess it has little wibbly movie parts on it. That's kind of cool. Looks like a VHS. We have an ornament for the Vexmith class, very festive. We have some different transmit effects, including the Shower of Gifts. We have the Howling Wizards. We have the same Shower of Gifts. We have the Ice Ball effects, and of course a bunch of different shaders, including Justified Cobalt, which I can assume is a new shader for this season, but I can't remember. We have this one. We have Tranquility, which we saw before, and of course Dawning Brilliance, which again really depends what parts and what kind of class you're on. Do I do it? Why not? Bloody freaking rich. And again, the Dawning section right here, this is your last opportunity for this year. Keep in mind, some of it is going to be for Bright Dust here, specifically the armor sets, and you can also get it for silver as well. And you may be asking yourself, why don't I buy these? I don't care. Up next, let's take a look at the Gunsmith's Inventory. First up, we have a Skatka. To be honest, I don't use this weapon much, but this has Triple Tap and Focus Fury. I believe it can have Explosive Payload, which is obviously a lot better. It might be able to get Incandescent, but I can't remember. Following that, we have Jacaraka, which is going to be a 4th times and Golden Tricorn. I don't really know when this is going to be that useful, and you definitely need to get that recoil direction a lot higher for this kind of weapon. Not really what I'm looking for. Following that, a Redback, which is one of those weapons that I just never, ever, ever like using, and I just don't really know what you'd want, but definitely not this. Following that, a Funnelette, probably one of the better weapons in the game, although it can have Frenzy and a bunch of other great perks. Probably not the best roll on it currently, but it can definitely do pretty well. The GL5 with Explosive Light and Unrelenting, pretty decent combination. No Spike Grenades, but pretty decent. And finally, the Taipan, which is a Genesis and Frenzy, which is not a bad roll, although it can have a lot better rolls like Firing Line and Autoloading, and I think Field Prep, and maybe Focus Fury, just a lot more better rolls. The Cat's Meow. That's quite the name, brother. That's quite the name. If you go to the tower and you don't try to climb the tree, are you really even going to the tower and celebrating the Dawning? Every time I go over the top. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mom, Dad, Cooper Shaw, Robert Schreier, Monday, Cedar Blackness, June Panther, Case Reckon, Mark Silver, Father Support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy it. My name is Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.